guys. We had the Japanese data last night. It came out lower than the consensus. It was a miss, quite a large miss actually. And obviously if the rests obviously are going to be lower than the consensus, it's going to add to the risk off theme that we saw last week. You could maybe argue indices are rallying off the lows in order to, shift down. It could be like a dead cat bounce, or it could be the bottom on the indices, because we look at the retail sentiment and we know we're risk on. So what you could probably do is just bookmark this MyFXbook Forex economic calendar. It's quite cool because it gives you like a pop-up notification prior to the release, and maybe because of the high severity nature of this data releases, perhaps trade after the event if you've got euro exposure or you're looking to buy or sell euro. Wait till after. You could probably wait till after the Eurozone PMI, and then dip in, dip out. I'm only going to be probably not looking for home runs this week. I'm just going to be looking to get profit here and there. I'm not going to look for like swing trades or anything like that, because it's very mixed on the sentiment as well. And really, I suppose you could say we should be falling technically, but sentimentally we are risk on. So yeah, so we are risk on at the big picture, right? And I just reset the VIX as well. So the VIX is reset 28.85, which is quite high, to be honest. Right, so just bear that in mind. Keep an eye on this data. If the Japanese data missed, it's possible the others are going to miss as well. So it could be quite a heavy day as well. We've got RBA stuff later on at midnight, just beyond midnight, and so it's going to be a very choppy day today, so just be careful. We're looking at the bubbles. USD is strongest and Swiss franc is weakest, so you could potentially look for dollar Swiss long. You want to be careful with the pound USD because of the proximity of the bubbles. Currently USD is winning. It's taken out the liquidity out of the pound. Pound is falling and it's taken out stops, which I'll show you. Gold's also going to be tricky as well, because the USD and the gold location. Euro and Aussie are weak, but what is interesting, the yen and the Swiss franc, that considered safe havens, they're with the risky currencies here. So there's a little bit of a confusion here, and there might just be like might just be one of those tricky days with the Euro, Oz, yen, and Swiss franc. So be careful. CAD is mixed, and the Swiss franc is mixed, the Kiwi is mixed, but dynamically the shifting over time on that axis, the Swiss franc is weakest. So so that's that. So let's have a look at some charts. Well, we'll start with the Kiwi because this is how I left it. Your monthly pivot's there, so you've got a sell bias below monthly pivot. Combine it with the sentiment, and you'd be doing okay. Do you remember on Friday I said this was a pretty sure sell? It was quite a clear indication for a sell because of the technical and the sentiment and the dynamic. So they went long, and it crossed monthly pivot, tested it multiple times, and down we came. So it's 103 pips off monthly pivot. Alright, so keep an eye on your monthly pivots. There's your monthly support break. Because we're below monthly support, there's your target. Alright, so you just think, if I cross this, yes, if so, next one. If I cross above the target monthly pivot, if we go above monthly pivot, we target resistance. So keep it nice and simple, get it to align with the sentiment, and you'd be doing okay. It would have been quite tricky because it tested it so many times on MP. There's your volume node there, where they stepped in at 67.92. Have a look at Aussie. Aussie is now a sell, I think, yeah. Well, it was a sell, 61%. So there's your monthly pivot break. And your SLC below is 71.44. We did take out stop loss cluster. See that blue block? These are stops. One above is 72.40. And we could potentially grab that stop loss cluster because they went long over time, which agrees with that. So there's a match. If you remember Friday, there was a lot of mismatch. This is now agreeing. So this is static, the dynamic is agreeing. Alright, so you combine it with the technical, and you target the stop loss cluster, and that's your target. Alright. Pound. 50-50, so we have to be careful. One above, 1366, one below is 135.23. There's your monthly pivot, so you're looking to buy dips until we crack below. Volume node there, 136.25. It's heavy selling on that candle. One above, 13666. So MR1 there's came into play, if you remember me saying, what's that? It's a 152 pip move off MR1. So they're going long, and it's agreeing, well, it's actually 50-50, so it doesn't agree with that, that's undecided. Euro USD, this is a sell at the high level, and there's your monthly pivot at 113.31. Lower highs, lower low. So SOC below is one. Oh, my belly's rumbling. Hopefully you can't hear it. 113. Yeah, 1.13. One above is 113.65. Volume node there, which could be acting as resistance now. It's 113.25. 6 pips below that volume node. So if we go above, we could go above monthly pivot, and then we get this stop loss cluster above. So very, very tricky today. So be careful. Dollar yen. Oh, come on, not slow. One above, 114. That's easy to remember. One below is 113.45. They sold it here. They just started to sell it last 6 hours. So we could potentially get that one above. Might get rid of that. So that is monthly pivot 114.27. Volume node of interest here. So you know you could pay attention to that wick. That could be a interesting level. It might want to come back up there. 115.29. That's a long way. What should we look at? Aussie yen. We'll do euro yen and pound yen, and then we'll wrap up. Come on, Aussie. Okay. 82.10. 81.35. There's your monthly pivot. Tested it there quite nicely. And it broke below. Test of the monthly pivot, and down we came. And so I think it could be getting down to here. That's what I think. Maybe that's what's going to happen here. So there's your monthly support 1 as well. So there's a confluence on this support with MS1. So it's quite far. It's 100 pips away. So it's possible. We're below monthly pivot and we are a sell, and they went long. So that agrees. Euro yen. I was saying on Friday this was a sure sell. We'll wait and see if it was. So yeah, we had like a channel test. So yeah, I mean, we're Friday. Where were we? I mean, we have fallen a bit, 50 pips or so. One above is 129.30, 128.50. We are a sell, and they went long, so that agrees. So I think we'll probably get this stop loss cluster below. There's your monthly support 1 there, so might come into play. See how we bounced off it. So there's your volume node. That's where they stepped in at that point. Yeah, so they're probably looking at those wicks for support, perhaps. Pound yen, and I'll wrap up. Oh, come on. And don't forget we've got that PMI data of the UK as well, and the pound bubble is strong buy, so we have to be careful. 154.50, 153.82. We are a buy, but they're going long, so that would mean it's a sell. That line here, so if you remember, it was a turncoat resistance, support, support again, resistance, 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 and down we came. So it chopped quite a bit on that line, which is quite interesting. Monthly pivot's 153.59, so I'd probably wait for that to break if I was going to sell. At the moment, you know, we're still technically a buy. However, I think it's possibly going to break because you know we should probably be risk off according to the 24-hour. The 24-hour difference is telling us that it's impacting the big picture. If we can continue like this, by the end of the week we'll be risk off, and that will be big sell-off expected. So if we get another 24-hour difference tomorrow, it's just going to make that number closer to zero. If that number goes positive, then the net retail guys are going to be net positive on the average across the week, and that's going to be really bearish. Okay, so trade carefully, keep an eye on your VIX, keep an eye on that dollar bubble perhaps, and the dollar Swiss should be a buy, but we'll wait and see what happens. So trade safely, and I'll speak to you soon.